and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Beacon Theater here in New York City, New York, USA. As we prepare for a big night of boxing on Saturday at the Mecca of sports and entertainment, the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York City. Let's meet challenger and champion at this time, because on Saturday night, these two gentlemen will face each other for the greatest title in sports, the heavyweight championship of the world. So coming to us first, entering the room, his professional record stands at 32 victories, 21 big wins by knockout, only one defeat. That was 3 years ago, and it was a split decision loss. He comes to us from Imperial Valley, California. Here is the challenger, Andy, the Destroyer Ruiz Jr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, he captured Olympic gold, and now as a professional, a perfect record. 22 victories, 21 wins by knockout. That's all in 22 fights. It's perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, from London, England, the reigning, defending heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua. Joshua, challenger and champion. So at this time, here to tell you more about what's coming up on Saturday night and what to expect, let me turn it over to the man who runs Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Thank you very much, Michael, and thank you to all the media and guests that have turned out today. It's another incredible turnout as we really hype things up and turn things up for a huge night of boxing on Saturday at the Mecca of boxing. Once the 3 positive drug tests came in, we searched for a new opponent. I wasn't under any instructions. It was whoever you want. Someone sent me a direct message on Instagram. I'm fighting Saturday. Give me this fight. I will fight harder than any of the names you've mentioned, and I will give you a better fight, and I will beat Anthony Joshua. Okay, that got my attention. We had a look. We saw him deal with and stop Alexander Dimitrenko on Fox at the StubHub Centre, and the discussions continued. And I found a man that, of course, you know, with TGB and PBC, the deal was important, but who had a burning desire to create history, create a legacy, and become the first ever Mexican world heavyweight champion. And I have to say, from this side of the table, we respect Andy Ruiz for stepping up and taking the opportunity, and we know that we're in for one hell of a fight on Saturday night.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you to the entire press that's here today. I don't have very much to say. All I can tell you is that my boy here, Andy Ruiz, is ready. He's ready for the challenge. We had a great camp. You know, people think this was a short camp, but in reality, it wasn't. We've been in the gym for pretty much 15 weeks, and we had a tune-up fight in between. So, of course, we got the big call, and you know, we're taking advantage of this great opportunity. Thank you to Anthony Joshua for giving us a chance. The crack of the title, we're going to give you a run for your money, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Andy Ruiz was the best available contender when Miller failed his drugs test. Ruiz, for me, was the toughest opponent at that stage. I thought we needed somebody that was going to motivate Anthony. There was a couple of names thrown around that I didn't think would have motivated him, and the camp would have become hard. But with Ruiz, he recognises that he's a quality fighter. Technically, he's sound. He has a good coach. He was very close in the Parker fight. He's a world-level fighter. He's a serious contender. And that's what Anthony Joshua is about. He wants to fight the best that's out there. Right now, Andy Ruiz is the best that's out there for this date. That's the challenge. Josh is ready.
First of all, I want to thank God, my team, Al Heyman, Eddie Hearns for making this happen. Been waiting for this all my life. Been training so hard. since my last fight against Alexander Dmytrenko. I think it came in a perfect timing to fight against Anthony Joshua. And those belts look really shiny, really good, man. And I'm just ready. I'm ready for June 1st. I'm ready to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to bring those belts back to Mexico. Well, they've never been in Mexico, but they're going to be on June 1st. I don't really have nothing bad to say about Anthony Joshua. He's a champion. I'm a fan of him. I respect him, but inside of the ring, there's not going to be no respect. There's not going to be no fans, no friends, but all I could tell you is to tune in June 1st at the Madison Square Garden. There's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm going to give it all I got, and we're going to win this from Mexico. Viva Mexico!
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're well. Thank you for being here. I'm better at doing more question and answers than talking about myself. So I'd like to thank Eddie, Rob, Dazn, Sky Sports, my sponsors who helped me prepare, my team. I've got my amateur coaches there. It's been a good journey. The sport is tough, no doubt about it. Fighting Andy, for me, is just as dangerous as fighting Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, because they both possess their own skills, and it's a banana skin fight for me in both aspects. So I've got to take Andy deadly serious. I don't overlook him at all. I respect him. I respect his whole team. And I really respect the fact that he put his name on the dotted line to take this challenge. No challenge is easy. No matter what the bookmakers say or the odds are telling you, Andy's going to come in here, as we all know, and give me a real good fight, cause problems, and it's down to me as a champion to think smart, box clever, and out-skill, out-strength, and out-muscle Andy Ruiz to get that win. And there's no fight like after the fight. When your hands are raised, your opponent's been defeated, and you're thinking about sitting on a beach or going home to your family and focusing on the next challenge ahead. Right now, I'm only champion till June the 1st, because this is when I have to defend my titles. So I'm currently heavyweight champion of the world. June 1st, I put them up in the air, and they're up for grabs. So may the best man win. I wish you well. Good luck. Manny, good to see you again. And thank you for coming out, and I'll see you all soon. God bless.
We're going to go to the floor now for questions. Yes.
Andy, what did you take away from your only loss, and what is it going to take for you to come out the champion on Saturday night?
I think I learned a lot, from the Parker fight, having to work hard, training harder, especially moving trainers with Manny Robles. Learned a lot from him, carrying the speed, the movement that I need to win on June 1st, and it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Hi, Anthony. Talk about your training, and also if you had to change anything because of the different opponent that was in between your training.
So training, we do a lot of running, a lot of sparring. If you had to pick two things for me, if I was a coach and I was looking at my fight, I'd make sure he does his road work, and I'll make sure he does his sparring, so we do a lot of that. But we always just work on myself. Like, my coach looks at me and he's like, Josh, this hand's low, that hand's low, relaxing the upper torso, da-da-da-da. So we've always just practiced on myself. The only change we would have had to make in training camp is when we was looking for another opponent, is if Luis Ortiz was to have taken the fight, I would have had to have changed to practice for a southpaw. But other than that, my coach has always been developing me as a person. Like, Andy over here had 105 amateur fights, won 100 of them, came through the professional ranks, basically undefeated fighter. He had a great fight with Joseph Parker. He's very experienced. My career has been a lot shorter than that. So my coach has been drilling me, working on fundamentals and basics. So the only changes we tend to make is not so much towards an opponent. It's only if he was to switch stance to an orthodox southpaw. Other than that, my coach is just solely focused on making me a better fighter. And I like that approach because I feel like this. If anything ever goes wrong, I don't blame, say, he was better than me. It's just down to me to get better.
The closer that this fight gets and the more that the public gets to know who Andy Ruiz is, I think the more excitement there is for this fight, and the more of I think people are viewing this as maybe a closer fight than the Big Baby Miller fight. Do you agree with that assessment, that this might have even been the better fight to begin with?
Good question. That's a very good question. That's a question that you might have to ask Eddie. Maybe you're trying to get me a little easy fight with Miller, you know, but that boy wasn't going to make it easy with all them drugs in his body, you know. That would have been a proper scrap. Like, that I was, you know, when I look back, I thought, you know, the guy's a big guy and all that, fine. I don't think he's a good boxer, but it would have been a proper scrap with all them PEDs in his system, but it is what it is. I would have to break him down anyway. Interestingly, Miller and Ruiz were going to fight previously, so it's like the same. We're all on the same playing field. Ruiz, Miller, myself, we're all fighting for the same cause, trying to be the best in our division. So I'm glad I'm fighting Ruiz as well.